Alright, so this week I played Nattomeister, and this is the Hoenn Weather Wars week, where we each got the opposite, box art, and we also picked the opposite Lati by some coincidence. There's some other similarities because they're both, like primarily weather teams. You can kind of see him over here. So he's on the left, I'm on the right. You can read through this a little bit. I guess I can go briefly into why I made what I made. I think he'll bring Venodon for sure. It makes a ton of sense. With these weather things, if your weather's up, you're doing really, really good. If your weather's down, you're doing a lot less good. So it's just about getting the right thing up. Honestly, I think his weather down is better than my weather down, but my weather up might be a little better in return. So I don't even know if that makes sense, but like Venusaur in the rain's not the worst thing ever. Whereas I don't know. Moltres is good in the sun too. Kyogre isn't very good in the sun. I'm basically just firing off ice beams that, well, you'll see what I do in a minute. But, he'll bring those two. I think he brings Zone because my team struggles with something of this specific typing that I can't one-hit KO. And it just kind of is what it is. So, and 100% is going to be brought against me. I just got to prepare for it. He'll bring a Psychic type, I think. I think Trick Room is good for me, so he'll bring something like 3 of his things learned in Prison Trick Room. I expect one of them to be on the team at least. And then I think Latios is really good, just like it is for me too. It just, doesn't have a ton of things that it really fears, and it does a lot. How I switch Trick Room, damage, recover, just a lot of nonsense. It can manually set weather too, I think. Yeah. I don't think it's really worth talking about too much else. I think he ends up bringing Savali, and I didn't ask him what it was. But I really wonder if it was Explode Band, because the Latios is what I expect it to be when we get into the game. It's actually the same thing I bring, but I never saw what the Savali was. But there's that. So we'll get into the team I bring this week and just go over why I did what I did. We'll start with this one. I didn't want to do Scarf because then I put myself at a real big disadvantage with the weather things because there's no reason Groudon will be Scarfed. Generally, they're slower than these anyway. And I don't think I end up bleeding Kyogre too much in any event. But if I felt like I had to, I didn't want to always lose that. So I actually opt for a really, really slow one. Before this happens, I actually bump this up to 31. So this underspeeds almost everything. If he ran a 0-speed Groudon, good for you. I really committed to being slow, and you committed even more to being slow. But this can also outspeed a non-boosted Venusaur after a +1 from one of the flying moves I have on this team, which is really nice because it's slow, but also 99. If you start getting the multipliers on, it's not the worst thing ever. I have Tailwind on here. Moltres and Barraskewda can Dynamax for max airstreams. There's a lot of ways for me to pick my speed back up. And then, I'm pretty bulky. It's already got Gargantuan special defense. I have HP and defense on this too. It can take a lot of hits. And because of that, I opted for the Protect Leftovers Calm Mind thing, which I don't know how good this would be. It's not good enough to use all the time, but when you get to do these specific game plans, I think it's useful for this. I expected I'd get targeted a lot by a Dynamax Venusaur, which is what happens, so I wanted to be able to protect at least a couple times if I wanted to switch in and switch out, or if I had Follow Me or something, and the passive damage from the Vine Lash wouldn't be too much. And then really all it's trying to do is Ice Beam stuff and Scald stuff. Pretty straightforward. I didn't think I would get to use Calm Mind too much, but I also Thunder hit nothing on his team that was super relevant. So if I had a free turn, it was there. I never really expected to do much other than Scald and Ice Beam. In hindsight, maybe if I found myself in a situation where I could Tailwind and use Water Spout, that would have been better. That's actually what I probably should have done, but I had in my head that I was going to do Calm Mind, so I did that. Barraskewda's here. I don't know if I use this to its full potential or how to even do that, but I tried this week. It wasn't super successful, but the idea here is pretty straightforward. I didn't want to put a band on it because I thought I might Dynamax it Uh, Although I ended up not wanting to Dynamax it because it's a Barraskewda and it is like made of glass. So that would have been the better choice. You'll see in a little bit, but it's pretty straightforward. Crunch is there to hit Latios, I think, specifically. And also, I thought there'd be a lot of Psychics on his team, so it's just there. And there's not much else to talk about other than that. It's the fastest thing on the field between all of our mons. So at this speed, nothing can outspeed it. I think the real one had this, but whatever. I guess I forgot to put that on there earlier. What was I saying? Fastest thing on the field, regardless. Like, if the weather's up, Venus. If I don't have rain up, Venusaur will outspeed it because it's in the sun. But if that's the case, then I'm not getting my Swift Swim either. So I left Propeller Tail on, even though I think Swiftsman might normally be a little better. He had Togekiss, so there's a chance I'd run into that, but it never happened. Expert Belt because I wanted Life Orb on Moltres. The only reason, really. Just more damage. And I had Mystic Water on. No, I had leftovers. At one point in time, I had Mystic Water. I guess I could have put that on here too, but it's also the same boost as a super effective water. Who knows what was better? This didn't end up working out that well anyway. For Pharaoh, I went with the AV version. I thought, I don't know, in the sun, I don't think the Assault Vest would have helped against any sort of like Weather Ball stuff, but this thing in game looked pretty good if I could deal with the fire. I knew Groudon had Fire Punch for sure, so I had to at least make it so that if I'm getting hit by those, I'm in the rain. And then Assault Vest was just there to take more hits, be more bulky. Gyro Ball hits stuff hard, although I do have a lot of Tailwind on this team, so maybe I could have rethought that, but it's pretty basic. The spread is to like 2-hit KO, bulky Groudon in a number of cases. It wasn't relevant really, but that's the idea behind the 60 attack. Moltres here, so I know it's kind of weird that it's a Fire Mon prominently on a rain team, but Weather Ball hits super hard in the rain. And then outside of the rain, or even if sun goes up or something like that, you're doing a lot of damage with boosted burn up and or max fire. The other thing with Weather Ball too is I don't always have to use burn up, but I can steal its 130 base power if I want to, because Weather Ball on the sun, if I'm using it, I'm probably in the sun, and it's a base 100 power fire move, so that's nice. If I'm in the rain, Hurricane's 100% accurate, as well as just being big max airstream damage. This is a big Dynamax target for me. I put the HP EVs in there, I think, so that it lives certain rolls from Rock Slide always. And then the rest is just... I'm almost positive. I don't remember the exact calcs, but that's what I was going for there. The rest is just into offense. In hindsight, I think this might be too much speed. I should have just gone a little bulkier and then, I don't know, pick some lower benchmark. But I feel like a couple times I just miss out on a KO. Excuse me, I sneezed. I thought that was a little disappointing, but you live and you learn. Clefable here, in my little spreadsheet thing, I had considered using safety goggles on this, and I think that might have been the play. But it's not that bulky, and you'll see it get hit by a Precipice Blades, and it sucked. I could have gone non-modest, but I don't really think at that point it would have helped out much. And the chip was kind of nice. I ended up going to Heal Pulse over Life Dew on this in the end, and I also do Mystic Fire over Flamethrower. I changed my mind between now and when I wrote this thing up. And I think both those decisions were good. I didn't get a chance to heal either way, but Mystic Fire ended up being useful for me. Otherwise, this is really straightforward. It's redirection with some healing, a fire move to hit Magnezone, and then spread Dazzling Gleam to break sashes or, do something. Hit the Latios, too, for decent damage. Finally, Latias. Draco always kills Latios, and that's just a straight speed tie between the two of us. So, if, we actually, stare at each other down a couple times, and neither of us ever attack, which is pretty funny. But assuming one of us connected, we would just kill the other one. I don't think there's any bulk point I can hit short of an Assault Vest where I live one. And I want this thing for Tailwind. I also swap recover for ally switch off at the last minute, mainly because of how bad Magnezone is for me. And I thought, I'm just going to have to get lucky or something because I need that free agency period to hit sooner rather than later. And then Goggles because I could, soak a sleep, hopefully. Or this thing actually is really great, even in a 2v1, assuming I haven't dropped my defenses or my attack against Venu and Groudon. Neither of them have great moves to hit this. Venusaur, I guess, Sludge Bomb is the best option, and Psychic does a lot in return. Tailwind means I'm faster. I needed to use this well. If I was going to win, I really probably needed to capitalize on how I use Latias, was my idea going into this. So that's the team. We'll pull up the game here. We go to full 3. Here we are. Really the game music again too, I guess. At least until it annoys me. So we see what I'll stop this here. So he ends up bringing Venudon, Latios, things I thought. Magnezone, another one I thought. A Psychic type, another thing I thought. It ended up being Azelf, which is cool. I personally am a big Azelf fan from my time playing singles back in Diamond and Pearl, but it's not quite the same as it was back then. And then there's Silvally as well, who we never actually see. I think we see everything else over the course of this. So that's where we're at here. I actually forget what I do, so I'll watch it with you until I pick. For me, I think Moltres is a no-brainer in almost all these games, as is Kyogre and Latias. So you're really picking, am I using Clefable, am I using Ferrothorn, or am I using Barraskewda? And maybe you could swap Clefable in for like a Latias or something like that. But Kyogre and Moltres are pretty useful. It's tough to get rid of them, and if you get rid of Latias, it's like a lot of utility gone. I actually talked my way through what I did, but we'll skip through the animations here. So he leads with Latios and Zone, which is a real good neutral lead for him. I also go with my neutral lead and Latias, and I have Bird. So I figure Bird's going to get hit here with something. It's just a really free thing for him because there's no, he's got Sturdy, or I'm assuming it's Sturdy. There's no reason to have Mana Pull, but I can't one-hit KO him, and he can probably one-hit KO me back. Probably. Magnezone has a lot of special attack. And things that, I can do. Ally Switch is an option. I kind of want Tailwind up, too, just to have it up. In the off chance he does, I definitely don't want to go slower than him next turn. I'm thinking that I can Ally Switch next turn and Dynamax, and hopefully get at a point to where I'm definitely faster than them, and my Latios can attack Magnezone to break the sash or whatever, and then I can Fire Move Zone. But I want to put out some damage on Latios, A, because it's nice, and then B, I definitely want to be faster than them, and I don't see them max Airstreaming this turn or anything like that. I haven't revealed the Ally Switch yet either, or have I? If I did that last turn, then we're still playing. We're still flipping coins, I'm okay with the fact that I'm a scumbag and that's what I'm doing, but we're just flipping coins. And I'll end up going on Latios and then I Ally Switch. I'm just gonna have to skip this stupid thing anyway. Now we got Birdramon right here. So I Switch. Again, I think I have shown this already. There you go. Maybe I haven't. And then I do this Airstream into Latios. This is pretty decent damage. I don't know if, those, 50 or some 75 EVs I don't put in special attack would have made this difference. May have made it a roll, but there you go. So he does Tailwind, and I am definitely faster now. He's going to Thunderbolt, and this is a lot of damage. At the time I thought, man, that does a lot of damage. And later he would reveal to me that it's Specs. I hadn't honestly figured it out for sure yet, because I know this thing actually does just hit like a truck. So, maybe that's not too far off of what, what's that Magnet Thunderbolt does, but this is Specs, so it's hitting really hard. And I guess I did have max HP on this Latias, so should have known here. I definitely had not figured it out at this point. So we both opt for the Ally Switch. I think a max fire from me into either target is pretty fair. This, I don't know, in hindsight, did I want to do this because it drops my attack, but I do... No, I think that was what I was going for, because otherwise I would have psychic back to break the sash. I think I'm just looking to live this and then maybe have him predict my ally switch and attack the target, you know, that just is still there, since I don't know, it's the only thing I could have done. And we get the sunset up, which seems counterintuitive, but again, I got my bird out. I also have Tailwind +1. Yeah, I do kind of make this free for Venu, but I always have the ally switch option A and then the Kyogre in the back option too. Because you can assume, I'm assuming he has his Groudon on the back with Venu. He's assuming I have my Kyogre with something. I don't think my other one is as obvious. Probably Pharaoh, which is exactly what it is too. But there you go. So onto the field comes Groudon. I really need to kill one of these Mons. Is what needs to happen, because then I can guarantee I win weather. And that's kind of a big deal for the end game here. Me assuming he has a Venusaur in the back, but him still having his Dynamax turns that I have to get through. So I kind of gamble it all on that. Win weather 100%, be really fast, and just hope to get it out in the rain in the back end. So there we go. Skip through this. So I use Psychic, I break, well, I don't break the sash, but I eliminate the weak and Magnet Zone, and I definitely secure myself weather advantage here. I thought this would kill for sure, which leads me to believe that this is a Solvest Groudon, which ends up being correct, but I didn't call the specs, but I did call this off that, because that's like, this is a big attack with weather. That's doing a lot of damage. It's impressive, honestly, that it lived it even with the best. That's a very hard hitting attack. I think that's coming off of burn up too. There you go. This turn for me, I think I set the Tailwind for the Kyogre, knowing that it's super slow. He doesn't know that it's slow yet. I don't think throughout this whole time I ever really revealed, or we ever really figured out who was faster when it came to the Box Legends. But I'm looking to get the Tailwind off, and I have no hope that I'll survive this turn with Moltres. It's not getting an attack off. 100% that's where Venus has been a target. It's the fastest thing on the field. And then I guess both of mine are the next two. So one of my mons definitely gets to attack. You don't want to take... Actually, you don't want to take damage on either of these. Yeah. I didn't expect Moltres to live. I don't think I could have lived. Maybe I could have lived through the Protect, but I don't know if that's even advantageous for me, because he'll just start boosting the special attack. So good that it's dead. The boost for Groudon doesn't really help it at all, unless it's got like Overheat or something. But I don't think it does. I get my Tailwind, and then this would actually kind of suck. Maybe no, maybe not. Because then I could Ally switch. But if he Rock Slide missed here, that would have changed the way things panned out. But Latios goes down. Their Tailwind is down. Now my Fish and my Pharaoh are in. So this turn, Fire Punch into Ferrothorn makes sense to me. My Protect is pretty obvious, so I am somewhat worried that I'll get punished for it. But I don't think there's any way he OHKOs. Like, it's going to take another turn to kill Ferrothorn, even if you double target it. And I don't know. This was really a tricky turn. It really came down to this. Because, like, if he reads my obvious Protect and doesn't attack into me, and I get a free hit into Groudon, and then I get damage onto Venu, that's really bad too. But he attacks into my Protect. I live through this. The Fire Punch does a pretty decent amount of damage, but the rain saves me. Rocky Helmet would have been another interesting choice for me too, because I would have picked up that kill and hit this onto Venusaur. Although the Gyro Ball, because I'm in Tailwind and they're no longer in Tailwind, is doing less and you know, do some suboptimal damage. Here, my fish is faster, so I'm gonna get this ice beam off, and I don't think it's worth them max guarding because I don't think the tick damage matters enough. So I'm pretty sure they're just gonna slug back into Kyogre and it'll go down, which means I need Venu to, or I need this Gyro Ball to do a decent amount of damage. Really, is what it comes down to. But I actually think I make this call, or I make the prediction wrong. My play works out either way, but let's skip ahead here. I beam, does decent amount of damage. He quakes, which is interesting, because this does a lot, and I think if I was an Assault Vest, that kills me. And if that killed me, the boost probably... That means that I protect next turn, and he becomes small Venu, I think. I don't remember how many of these turns he's used yet. I think that's just 2. And then it's down to dot damage versus my leftovers recovery. No, okay, so he's small now. Alright, so I think that was the last turn. And you know, we'll finish this off. And there's game 1 down. Game 2... I was supposed to be keeping track of how many kills we got, but I'm just talking, so I guess I gotta watch this again at some point. So game 2, I have a different idea. I'm gonna go with, I think this is the Clef Barrascuda lead. Thinking that I'll get Barrascuda big. At some point in time, Clef will die, and then maybe, you know, ideally I'll even get some speed onto Kyogre, and it'll just be tough for them to do anything after that, or I could get some speed on Moltres, and you know, maybe max water. Yeah, that's the idea. We'll skip ahead. Okay, so he opens with these 2. I still don't know how to feel about this. I don't think I play it right. I don't think this is necessarily bad either. The problem again is just how insanely frail Barrascuda is. So the Volemy is obvious, but I don't know if he has Precipice Blades, and I also don't know. I don't know what else to do at this point. Alright, go back and forth for a painful amount of time on do I Dynamax or do I not Dynamax? Can I kill him without Dynamaxing? I didn't run the calc beforehand. I don't really know what it's going to do. I don't think Max Airstream will. Max Airstream is what I want to do, but I don't think it'll kill. Another option for me would have been to Dynamax Liquidation. Maybe not even Dynamax. Maybe you should use Liquidation and switch Kyogre in. That would have done a lot of damage to Groudon. That's probably what I should have done. That's not what I did though. I go for Follow Me Crunch, and we get to see how much damage Expert Belt Crunch does, and it is not as much as you want. Honestly, I don't even think Life Orb gets that either. I don't know for sure. And it might actually be a roll, but Banded would have. And I should have banded this. I should have played this a lot better. I think this showcases my experience with Barrascuda, who I never really used prior to this, despite him being pretty cool, just design-wise, ability-wise. You know, he's a propeller fish and all that. So they have a lot of speed control now, and I'm about to Follow Me a Spread move, which is not great. No, so do I attack here, or do I Follow Me anyway? No, I attack. Oh, I'm looking to chip out Latias. That's what I was doing. So I was talking. Chip it out with Gleam, and then just, you know, do something to the other guy. But I don't get that through. There's a Citrus Berry. Precipice Blades does like an insane amount of damage to me. A ton. This is basically max HP and mostly max defense. It's modest, but the defense is maxed. Definitely should have went for more bulk, and maybe even a Pinch Berry if it was going to do that much, but tough to say. They're definitely faster than me now. I'm just kind of hoping that Barrascuda, I don't know, this is a bad situation for me. The Follow Me, I guess, here is not even worthwhile, although I don't know what I can do in this scenario, really, other than hope for a Precipice miss, and then... Okay, so I guess I did end up winning that, so... Sadly, Berescuda can't take whatever. I don't know the spread on his. I know it's assault vest, but still, it's Groudon damage. Press with blades. It's hard. He gets the full switch out too. This is going pretty ideal for him here. I think the game actually is over. My only hope. Well, I guess it's not over. I have weather at the moment, but I think I hard commit here to Big Bird and trying to. Yeah, I don't know. I know he has Thunder Punch at this point. I don't really have many options other than this. Stall has Tailwind. Get my own speed up. I think Groudon may switch out here just to preserve weather superiority. But that Tailwind's going to come in clutch, really. Yeah, I guess I wasn't really out of it there, because this is definitely going to hit whatever comes in pretty hard at the cost of losing my weather. But skip the animation. Yeah, so I protect. He sadly is faster, and he gets a sleep powder, and this is probably where it's a good game. I need to wake up there. I actually don't need to wake up exactly yet because the Pale Wind pendered out, and I'm probably faster than Venu. If he's like timid max speed, maybe he's faster than me, but this is the only play I have at the moment. He's going to Dynamax 2, capitalize on my bird being asleep, and I desperately need my bird to wake up turn 2, and it does not. And that was game. So Kyogre is definitely going to die to this. There's nothing I can do at this point. Full switch hits very hard. I get a nice little damage check though, knowing that Thunderbolt won't kill me, but it will do most of my health. And I think I just surrender after this because it's over. I can give a kill to whoever he wants last. And then game 3. So we're 1-1. Berescuda went so poorly for me, I decided not to bring it again. I think this game too, I don't even bring Ferrothorn. Rather than sit here and watch me click, we'll skip ahead. Yeah, so I do go for Bird Clef, so I can try to avoid some of that damage on Moltres, and then Lati and Kyogre in the back. I realized that he's doing, I guess I saw Venudon just killed me in the back, so maybe it was on my mind. And I pick Latios just to, also, I just lost a sleep powder, so I picked the guy with glasses this time too. So, because this lead, again, Magnezone threatens an enormous amount of damage to me, and really just cross board, and Venu can sleep. I think the Follow Me Airstream here is kind of obvious, but it's pretty good for me even if he calls it right, so I'll probably end up going for it anyway. Here I've never done G-Max Weather Ball before, and if you don't know how it works, Weather Ball still changes when you're in Dynamax form, and you use, if it's in the sun, you'll use Max Flare. If it's in the water, you'll use Max Geyser. And obviously you can't set the weather because the weather has to be set for you to use the move, but it does that and it's calculated off the 100 rather than the other stat. That said, it always looks like Max Strike in the list, despite the fact that it's not what that is. Probably because if the weather was to change between, the time you click the button and the time you actually use the move, it would change. But I'd never done it before, so I got nervous, and I think I actually don't use it one turn for that very reason. But there you go. I Airstream into the Azelf, who does not take this well. Venusaur would have been nice to take down, but I'm never going to say no to going +1 and just shotgunning that poor little elf out of the game. I hit this Mystic Fire. I wasn't sure what he was going to do. I thought he might switch too. So, yeah, I went up with that. It ended up being perfect though because it really mitigated the amount of damage I took from that DS, and I could honestly maybe even live a Rock Slide at this range. I'm not sure if that kills me in Dynamax, particularly given the fact that he has No offensive item on there. And I expect to see Groudon here too, because that just puts him in a pretty advantageous situation. I can't redirect the Rock Slide. Venus is the fastest thing in the field still. It can Sleep Powder. For me, I really just have to pray that I don't get killed by Rock Slide. I can't really stop that. And then I probably follow me to stop any Sleep Powder shenanigans. That's all there really is to it. He'll probably Dynamax one of his mods here. Again, Venusaur's in a really advantageous situation, despite the fact that it's up against Bergermon. Let's go ahead here. Yeah, so he does end up Dynamaxing. Got Big Venu. And we'll see what happens. It max guards, which was a good play. Yeah. So I really just, I guess I went for I was concerned that Airstream wouldn't kill, but it ended up not mattering. And I do get the dodge. I really think I live that, but the HP, like, it would have left me at, like, 10 HP or something like that. I guess I could calc that after this. We'll see for sure. But, those are the woes of using Venusaur and Groudon. You live and die when the Sleep Powder misses and hits, and the same goes for Precipice Blades and Rock Slide. So he gets the boost up here. I really want to kill Venusaur. And if I can do that, I think my chances to win this game look a lot better. And because it's Life Orb, this is going to hit real hard. Actually, it'll kill it just outright. And I don't think that crit mattered, to be honest. It's a big Firebird. Yeah, so that worked out well for me. He might... Here's Thunder Punch. Okay, so Rock Slide would have really probably killed. So that miss is tough for him. I don't know what I do if that happens. But there you go. So now it's Zone. Yeah, so Bird's fastest thing on the field. I think Tailwind is done. Weather is what I want it to be. I need to kill Zone, though, because it's a big threat to Kyogre in particular. Luckily, the Sash is broken. I'm probably going to Weather Ball the Groudon. Here I am, just checking to be sure that I understand how this works properly and that it's actually going to work right, which is a little embarrassing, but that's what that was. I don't think it'll kill based on the AV and the damage that I did earlier. But if I get it weak too, that also means that I can force a 1v1 with Latias at full health and Kyogre at full health versus, yeah, basically just Magnezone, and I like that for myself. In that Skull could probably kill from this range, and Psychic would be a 2-hit KO, I'm pretty sure too. Even though it's resisted, Latias is a decent special attack, and if I feel like the roll isn't going to go my way, I have the Draco Meteor option on the second one too. If it ends up being a head-to-head versus me and Magnezone, and somehow I don't get any damage on Magnezone. But now this is a pretty good position for me. Either thing I have can kill Groudon. I want to go faster for sure, and I don't really know what I think is going to happen or how I think he's going to kill me. Yeah, either way. I felt like that was... I don't think I could lose if I did Tailwind. Maybe I was worried about something. But yeah, Precipice Blades gonna do a ton of damage. But can't hit Lati. And just pretty decent bulk on this. And that's GG, I think. I think it's the last one. Oh, I crit on the last one. That actually probably did matter, but there's a skull right behind it. So that was the game. You know what? Let's look it up real quick while we're doing this. I think these were solid games all around. I don't think either side was a blowout. I think the bad breaks hit me game 2 and they hit you game 3, and that's what decided those. Game 1, Also, I think came down to the very last turn where we flipped a coin. It was well played all around. I think that puts both of us at 3-3 too. It should be, should be a competitive league. What am I doing? So we're gonna run that damage calc real quick. Let's see here. Is there anything we could steal? I don't know what AG Dynamax Sweeper is, but there you go. Moltres, blank, back in 50s. This probably has Rock Slide. No, it's for singles, so it's Stone Edge. I have no idea what this spread is, but it's max attack, so whatever. Rock Slide. Rock Slide and doubles. 50-50. Jeez. I don't think there's any chance in hell. Oh, wait. I was big, though, right? I'm Big Bird. What was my... I think that definitely mattered now that I look it up. I don't think 84 EVs are going to save me from that terrible fate. This is assuming that he's not... I don't know. This is probably a decent assumption on the amount of attack that thing has. So... Yeesh. I don't know. Let's see. What does it like a pure bulky one do? It still kills me. I probably always die there. So I got pretty lucky. You won't hear me complain. But good games overall.